This is the review of the 2015 Nissan Pathfinder, a vehicle that's been with us for quite some time. This is a fairly large truck. It looks okay. It looks middle of the pack. It's got the signature Nissan front end. However, it looks conservative. I think it's for somebody who doesn't want necessarily to stand out that much. I think it does the job. The front end is slightly aggressive, but it looks okay. I mean, you can't complain. From the side, here's another shot of it from the side. You got kind of like a wavy line that goes through the side of the truck, which is kind of nice. Definitely okay looking, I'd say. This is the high-level package, which comes with the 20-inch wheels. I just think the 20-inch wheels are too big. I'm sure the 18-inch wheels must be just fine. However, they do look good and they fill the wheel well, quite good. In the back seat, this is a 7-place, though 6 and 7 is really for small children. And the seats fold down. When the seats are not folded down, there is not a lot of room. However, when they are folded down, it's very roomy. Inside, the door design of the front door is pretty nice with that wood trim and that silver contour of the door handle. Everything is quite nice in here. Not super nice, but quite nice, I'd have to say. Inside, noise, vibration, harshness, by the way, is almost non-existent, with the exception of maybe a couple of rattles, which I think is probably unacceptable. The front seats have a decent leather quality and they are heated and cooled. Cooled seats along with adaptive cruise control are my favorite options of 2015. They are just wonderful. In the back, individual heating, and also you can plug in, each passenger can plug in their individual headset and they can listen to their movies at their own volume. Where do they watch the movies, you ask? Raise your head, take a look up. There you go, right behind each headrest there's a screen there, which is, I find, I mean, if you have kids and you have to park them back there, it's going to work wonderfully. So pretty nifty family option. In the back, well, there's the design of the door. There's little cubbies there for drinks. The problem with the back seat is that the seat bottom is way too close to the ground, and when you're sitting, your knees are like folded almost completely. It's very low seat and it makes for an uncomfortable seating position. In the front, it's much more roomy, much more spacious. It's very good in the front. A few remarks about the interior. The sound system, or at least the optional sound system that I heard, was excellent. The overall design language is okay. It's not the best, it's not the worst. It's Nissan. The chassis ride is, I think, perfectly adapted to the way this truck looks like. I mean, it's smooth without being like a boat, and it's very comfortable to drive. I'm going to talk more about that on the drive. The fuel economy is very reasonable for a V6, thanks in part to that transmission, which those Nissan automatic transmissions really save you a liter per 100 kilometers over the competition. The center console is extremely busy. There's no soft touch material on the dash. However, the dash does not look cheap. Some people will like or hate the wood. In this case, I can't seem to decide. I think it adds a bit of class. The price of this vehicle in base model is excellent, $31,000. You get a whole lot of truck for that price. You do have a bit of space for your drinks, like you can see here. However, like in the doors, they're not that big. It's okay. Everything is okay in this truck. This is, like I said before, this is the full equipped model. However, the base model even comes with tri-zone climate control. I mean, that's a tremendous value. I love the dash. I love the gauges. They stare you straight in the face. There's 3D. There's a center, what do you call, a center info screen that's very high quality. To your right, the screen that controls the infotainment is very high quality also. It's nice. It's nice to look at nice things when you're driving. There, if you look on the right, the commands for the heated and front seats, they kind of like merged them. Heated and cooled seats, they kind of merged them in one. I think that's pretty awesome. But apart from that, the rest isn't very awesome. The controls are small. It's not always intuitive. You have to look down often for your stuff. So look at these giant buttons. This is if you want to raise or lower the brightness in your dash. I mean. This is the review of the 2015 Nissan Pathfinder. Been driving this car for well over an hour now. Did some city driving, did some highway driving. And so we'll start with the drive. The drive is comfortable, yet it doesn't feel too much like a boat, which I find is really desirable in this kind of vehicle. The control weights are wonderful in this Nissan. Steering wheel is easy to turn. Same thing with the gas pedal. Feels great. This engine, this V6, is the perfect complement for this truck. Now we're driving the all-equipped version, $46,000 plus destination plus tax, which is about what, 55, 53, 55. However, they do sell this truck for $31,000 plus destination plus taxes. There's going to be a little less fanfare, but I think that's an incredible value for the way this vehicle drives. I mean, it offers a lot of room and everything. It's quiet on the highway. Well, as quiet as trucks this size can be. And it tracks straight. Gobbles up miles. Easy. Easy. So that's the drive. Inside, everything feels pretty good, with the exception of perhaps the center stack with the small buttons. Everything, I just think it's maybe more complicated than it should be. But we're getting used to that now, aren't we, from the Japanese? They can't seem to get center consoles right. Ross was saying that, and he's so right. Apart from that, the haptics, just the way the things feel pretty good for this price point. Feels like a $35,000 SUV. This one costs more because it's all equipped, yet it feels that way. Overall, I'd say the solidity, noise, vibration, harshness is okay, except I'm hearing a rattle over here. This truck has 8,600 kilometers, which is about, what, 5,500 miles. Rattles are always a pain in the ass, aren't they? Because it either means that the materials they use are cheap, or it was cheaply assembled. Either way, it feels cheap. Other than that rattle, though, everything else feels good. The optional sound system sounds great. There's soft touch here on the elbow rests here. Not elbow rest, but the top of the door. And the elbow rest here is very soft. Everything seems to be at the right height also. I don't have to adjust my seat too much. You know, there's not like one side that's higher than the other. Sometimes that's awkward, you know, when the right elbow rest is different. No, here it's very, very good. The steering wheel is okay. The leather isn't particularly soft, but it is leather. The steering wheel isn't particularly thick, but it isn't too thin. It's got grips at the 10 and 2. Rest not quite so easy at the 9 and 3. Normally, it's nice to have a little bit of leather here where the thumbs are. But it's good. The dials here in the center are beautiful. They have a nice relief compared to the information screen in the middle of the two dials. I think it looks great. Easy to read. There's another thing too I want to say about this truck. We're driving this truck. We've been driving along, and it's so easy to drive. It has, when you're backing up, it has a 360-degree view, including the rear backup camera. It really has a wonderfully tight turning radius. We were at Costco in the parking, and it was just so easy to navigate. A lot of people are getting that we need tight turning vehicles because we want it to be maneuverable. I'm not sure about the visibility in terms of like knowing where the ends of the vehicles are. I don't know why I was maneuvering in the parking and I had a little bit of difficulty seeing exactly where the wheel was versus the ground or the sidewalk. You know, I just find it difficult. I don't know why in this truck I find it difficult. Of course, when you're backing up, there's no mystery because of the 360 cameras. It's really easy to drive. Like, we've been driving this for an hour, and I think effortless comes to mind. The rear seats, I thought, were a little bit tight for this size of vehicle. And, well, the 6th and 7th place are really for children, small children. So, not as practical as a minivan, right? But it certainly doesn't have the image of a minivan. I think that's why people buy these SUVs. If you like the exterior styling and you feel well seated in this truck, I think it's a very reasonable purchase.